Dial Models Workshop.
Hi, it's Yeji.
And Clint.
Hey, it's Larry. You are entering Models Workshop After Hours, a modeling podcast where we talk about miniatures, model painting, and we cuss a lot. If you can be offended, we're probably going to offend you. Then you're going to laugh, and you're going to feel bad. And then we'll offend you again, and then you'll laugh again. You see the pattern. So kick out, sit back, grab your brush, grab your paints, and get ready to have some fun.
Hello, model workers, and welcome to After Hours UK episode 10. We've made it to 10 episodes. This episode of Models Workshop After Hours is sponsored by Audible.com, as always, so visit www.bit.ly/afterhoursaudible and get 2 free audiobooks to keep. And remember to cancel if you don't want to keep using it. Unlike I have done, and I've realised that the last 6 months I've been charged £12 a month that's been coming out, and it's not even attached to my account. So, but you still get to keep your free books. Tonight we don't have Simon because he has decided to run away, and we do have Chloe. Hello, Chloe.
Hello.
And we've got Ian.
How do?
Pushing that northernness as strong as you can.
Not really north. I'm in the middle.
Well, it's north of here.
Well, yeah.
Everywhere's north of you.
Watford's north.
So, what you guys been up to? Last week, you all fucked off and left me to talk to Dave by myself, and you missed a great chat.
Someone had to.
I don't know what I was doing. 2 eps since then.
Well, it's Chloe. It's been about a month since I've spoken to you, or more.
Yeah, the weather's been nice, and I've been working lots.
And hobbying not so much.
No, not at all. In fact, this is the first time I've sat down and actually painted anything for a while. So.
Well, your tanks have been looking good on Instagram.
Yes, I'm doing them all at the same time. But this purple is breaking me, so we'll see how it turns out.
What's going wrong with the purple?
The last time I painted tanks was about 6 years ago, and I can't remember what the recipe was for the colour. So now it's just not matching, and it's doing my head in. So I'm trying to figure it out, basically.
Just repaint the ones you had before.
No. You know how much I've got to paint anyway. It's just going to be even more effort. I'm trying to make progress, not go backwards.
Oh, all right then. And Ian, you've been buying magazines.
Yeah, buying magazines. Got the Space Marine Conquest thing. It's not bad for $1.99, considering the contents of it is about £20.
Yeah.
I'll probably dip in and out as and when there's things that I want. I'm not going to get the whole thing because $7.99 every month.
No, every week.
Every week, sorry, is a little bit steep for me, especially as I'm not an actual wargamer. But there's certain models in there, like Typhus or the Chaplain. That'd be quite good to get down the road, but I'm sure they'll probably be the last ones.
Of course, yeah.
What's the scenery as well, though?
Is there? Mm. Well, if it's, I'll keep an eye on it and see if I can order the odd one in, because they're not going to keep it at the newsagents every week. They'll do what they do on all of them. They do the first 3 or 4 weeks, and then you have to either subscribe or special order them into the newsagents.
The scenery is the set that I got for my tank conversion. So you get the crane and all that as well.
Oh, cool.
And the containers and that kind of thing, eventually, by the looks of the photo.
So they'll be splitting that up over probably 3 or 4.
Yeah, so one week you might get like a container or a couple of containers, and then the week after you get the crane bit and stuff like that, I imagine.
It'll be like that with the tanks as well, isn't it? You're
Yeah.
not going to get a whole tank in one thing, or you probably get like a few bits of track and a gun.
For 3 weeks or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you told me about it, I thought, yeah, well, $1.99, that's great, and you're getting a tenner's worth of plastic on the cover. So I went out and bought all of them that I could find today. I've bought my kids one each, and then there was only one left, so I bought that for me. And yeah, it's the 10 quid Intercessor 3-man pack that you get for $1.99. And then you said to me you get a brush and some paints, and I thought, well, I don't give a shit about the paints, because I just assumed they were going to be those stupid little flip-top acrylic things that you get with... that kind of beginner pots.
I've got a bag.
Yeah, just throw them in the bin straight away. But no, it's 3 pots of £2.50 Citadel paint.
Yeah, they're decent.
They're really good. The Retributor armour, Abaddon Black and Macragge Blue.
That's my job tomorrow.
3 colours that I actually don't have.
The same here. I don't have them because I generally don't buy like bulk Games Workshop paint. I just buy the paint as and when I'm painting something that requires that colour.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I don't like blue.
I think my last black from Games Workshop was it Chaos Black?
Yeah. Abaddon Black's pretty shit though.
Is it?
Yeah, it's okay if you want to like kind of glaze with it,
Okay.
but it's quite shiny and stuff like that. I prefer Vallejo's, what is it, like 950, because it dries quite matte.
Okay. Fair enough.
I don't like shiny paint.
Well, that's why we spray varnish things with matte to protect them and make them all dull down. But no, I get your point. I don't want a shiny paint.
No.
Unless it's a shiny thing I'm trying to make.
But apart from that, I haven't actually done that much. Mostly because the heat has been really bad, because my office window is right by where the sun comes down, so it's really, really hot. And as it's been like nearly 30 degrees here, even up north near Wales. So yeah, I've had like subtropical pants when sitting on my leather chair, which is not good when you're trying to paint, and then your armpits are just like dripping. You know, and you're trying. It's just not good. So I've not bothered. But I did go to Stockport and do a bit of painting with James from Siege Studios, so that was fun.
So
went a bit there.
You know how to paint now?
Yeah, kind of. I know how to paint a few scratches, and I know how to paint a face. And we did non-metallic metal on a power sword, so that's good.
Cool.
And then next year they're doing like a character one, so it's going a bit more in depth. So I'll see when that is and stuff, because I'm going to the Philippines next year, so got to watch the pennies.
Ah, yes.
And the time, because you go to the Philippines for a month, it kind of eats into a lot of your annual leave.
So next year we're going to have Without You
Yeah.
for a month. That's only
Yeah.
2
like
episodes.
Mid-March to mid-April.
Okay. We'll plan around that.
Yeah.
I'm sure nobody will even notice.
Yeah, you'll just miss my dulcet tones for a few episodes.
You'll come back without a northern Welsh accent and have a bit of Philippines in there.
Yeah, and I'll still be as white as I was when I left.
Perfect. Totally worth the money.
Stay out of the sun. Yeah. But I can buy a crate of beer of like 24 bottles for about £5, so it's all good.
Oh, well, that sounds like a month well spent.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Although I'm probably just going to have to eat grass when I'm there, so I'll probably come back skinnier, because vegetarians just don't survive in the Philippines. Like, everything has to have meat. I'm pretty sure that when I go there, I'm going to be like classed as a heretic, because I don't eat meat. And obviously, you got to eat meat if you're Catholic.
They burn heretics, don't they?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only heretics on drugs.
The dirty doesn't like drugs.
He does not like drugs.
No. My God, I hate drugs. I was there when they had the election, and that was the main campaign. So like, where every now and again in the UK, when you have an election, you'll have like a Conservative broadcast, or whatever. It's like you get it like once every week for each party. Well, there, literally the whole advert every single time is literally 3 or 4 different people campaigning, and his one's the best because he doesn't speak the native language. Ironically, he doesn't speak Tagalog. He speaks Ilocano.
Right.
So when he actually addresses the Filipino people, he speaks in English.
Sweet.
So his actual like political broadcasts were in English, and that was the thing he'd have at the end. He'd be like, "By God, I hate drugs."
Wonderful.
Legend.
Well, so that's next year.
That's next year, yeah.
Well, don't know what I'm doing next year. Probably moving house again.
Nice. Or not.
I'd rather not. if I can help it.
Yeah, I've moved 6 times in the last 7 years.
Right. Yeah, I know that feeling.
It's just, you know, when you're renting, that's basically how it is. But I refuse at the age of, like, when I get to having a mortgage, like, starting at about 35, 36, to have a 30-year mortgage. Fuck that shit. It's not happening.
Well, I live in South London, so unless I was earning, well, more than I am, frankly, any time I ask for a mortgage, they just laugh at me. I say, well, you need to earn a little bit more than you are right now, mate. And I say, oh, okay.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, thanks. And oh, how much deposit have you got to put down on it? Oh, pretty much fuck all. I've been renting for the last 10 years. I said, oh, well, yeah, we can't help you then. Off you trot.
See, this is the bollocks as well. Last year, my nan passed away, so I was on part of the inheritance. So I never owned a house or anything like that. I got my inheritance, and then they go, yeah, you're not a first-time buyer anymore. Fuck off.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Because I was put on as one of the beneficiaries. So because you've been a beneficiary of an estate, you can no longer be classed as a first-time buyer.
Oh, Jesus, that's...
Right? And it's just like, the fuck?
Our laws are so fucked
I could have
sometimes.
inherited 20p, you bastards. But I can't... Yeah. Love it.
Well, I'll make sure that when I go, I'll bequeath 20p to a few people just to piss them off.
Yeah.
Just to everybody that I know will get like 5, 10p.
It's got to be from an estate, though.
That's fine. I'll call it an estate.
An estate car?
Would a van do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this tank's going to end up looking pink because this purple's just really pissing me off.
Yeah, I've been having trouble with purples lately. I ended up doing one of my commission pieces. It was I don't know what kind of beast it is. But it's for some reason I decided to do it purple, which is one of my least good colours to paint. And I finished it. I've sealed it. I'm done with it. But it looks like a fucking fuchsia with teeth.
I don't give a shit anymore. This is what it's going to look like, so I'm just going with it.
Yeah, I'll have to post a picture of it at some point. But yeah, it's a deep purple, and it's, you know, I've blended a few tones into the fur or skin, whatever it is, and washed the hell out of it. And then the mane, I went with a sort of orangey red, and it sits there, and everything else is cream, and it actually just looks like a plant. It just looks like
Nice.
it is that kind of Lego Friends, that pink and that purple, and that red, all tied together to make the worst Disney princess monster that you've ever seen.
I'm just trying to get this whirlwind and the other Land Raider done so I can do the epic recovery tank.
Yeah.
Get these out of the way first.
Well, I've left all my hobby stuff behind. It's the last weekend of the summer holidays for my kids, so I've brought them up to see my parents. Let them be spoiled rotten. And on the way, of course, we bought this Warhammer magazine from the newsagents, and so I'm just sitting here clipping off Space Marines, and trying to take off some mould lines, and at the same time trying not to get too invested in wanting to pay for the whole set.
Don't do it.
Because actually,
it is a money saver if you get the whole
it's
thing.
a good deal.
Yeah,
Like,
I think someone added it up on Facebook. It was like 970 quid or something, and you get it was so 970 pounds worth of stuff, and it's like 660 quid or something altogether.
Yeah, it's a hell of a saving for
If you want it all.
pretty much 2 full armies, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I'll get next week's, which is 3 Nurgle fellas, which again is worth
Plague Marine.
yeah, Plague Marines, and you get a Nurgle paint, Nurgle green, and some rulers and some dice.
Have you seen
Still
the
going
premium option? If you subscribe, you can get a premium option.
Right.
That's 10 quid a week. You
Yeah.
get I think you get 4 different crates of cardboard playing boards in and stuff like that.
All right.
So it's,
And more. As they put,
and more, yeah. I don't know what else the more
And
is.
more.
which nobody knows what more is, so it kind of, you don't know whether it's going to be worth it or not, because obviously that'll add on to the cost as if you're going to get 2 armies, so then I think the difference is only like 100 quid.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends whether the stuff you're getting and more is worth.
Well, the board games, the boards themselves are, I think it's 50 quid for the box, so we've looked at getting them for our table.
Okay.
So it depends. If it's an
Are
extra
they
100 quid,
the,
and that's at least 50 quid.
Are they the 2x2 boards?
Yeah, just the box that's got the boards and you just lay them out and then you can put them away at the end, just a dining table
Yeah.
set type thing.
Yeah.
So quite good from what we've seen so far.
Well, if you decide to subscribe to this thing, you get some, as you always do, the free gifts, and actually some of them look pretty good.
Well, let's be honest, it's the only way you're going to get a freaking holder at the minute, isn't it? A model holder. Because they're sold out everywhere.
Are they? Oh, I
Yeah, I've been trying to get one for
picked-
months and you can't get them.
Oh,
Well, they said they came back in stock a couple of weeks ago, but
Yeah, then everyone went and bought
might come
one
back
and put them on eBay.
Not one. People were buying like 10 of them.
Exactly. It's fucking
They're
stupid.
posting them on like Instagram, and they're like, "Look what I bought," and it's like 10 holders. I'm thinking, you can't fucking use 10 of them.
Like, yeah,
at
cheers,
once.
arsehole.
The whole
No, I
point
can't get
is
one
so
again.
you could take the model off and stick another one on it. You only technically need one.
They came back in
Surely.
stock, so let's panic buy. Fuck you.
yeah. Was it you get the Citadel clippers, the side cutters?
I need some new ones, so I might get them.
I got mine from Applins, like $3.99.
I want to get the 45 quid ones at
Clippers.
Clippers. Yeah, they're amazing.
Do they
like
clip
magic.
for you?
Pretty much.
Build it as well.
We-
Fill the gaps.
You know how with any other clippers, when you clip plastic, it basically pinches through it, and you end up
Oh,
with
yeah.
yeah. These don't do that. They're somehow sprung in a way that they slice through styrene in a perfect straight line.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've seen it. I can't remember what the company was that made them, because I looked at them and I was like, do I really want to? Probably not.
You
Yeah,
could just probably buy
I
some
definitely
electrical
do.
snips and it'll do the same thing because they cut wire perfectly straight.
I suppose, yeah.
I just snip close and then get a knife and cut it off.
I mean, that's what I do. But 'cause I've got a choice. I've got my excuse me. I've got my my travel kit, which is actually just like a men's grooming kit with clippers and files and things in it. And I've shoved a Stanley blade in there for scraping and a bit of 320 grade sandpaper. And I think at some point I must have tried to snip a copper wire because the cutters in this kit they've got some holes in them. But yeah, I've got 4 different sizes of nail clippers. I've got I have no idea what half of these things are. It was 5 or 6 quid on Amazon. I thought this would be perfect for a little leatherette pouch. And keep all my modelling tools in, and it is awesome. It's just not great. So yeah, it still makes me want to spend 45 quid on the company's just it's spelled DSPIAE. How the hell are you supposed to pronounce that?
Dispier.
Dispier. Yeah. It sort of sneezed. I think somebody sneezed.
Rolled up the tongue.
and the speech thingy, the voice recognition on their laptop, just picked it up and typed it out and said, "Yep, that's our company name."
Google Translate failed.
It's terrible, but I mean they've got some wicked tools. That I saw they've got a circle cutter, which has it's got a variable diameter up to a certain point, but rather than using like a pair of compasses to draw or stick a knife on where the pencil would be and you end up with a hole in the middle, this is you stick the circle down and you slice round the radius, and you can go as small as like 0.5 millimetre up to as big as, I don't know, 10-15 centimetres or something. But you can also choose where your anchor point is, where the centre of your cut's going to be.
That sounds like a device I'd use never.
Oh, you need to start scratch building more.
I've been scratch building the shit out of stuff for the last month.
This thing will be totally in your wheelhouse then.
I've got loads of magnets stuck to my tank at the minute.
On purpose?
Yeah, to hold my crane on. Because I had to figure out a way of having this put together, but actually being able to store it somewhere. So.
Yes, it does get quite big.
It is a beast, especially with the trailer on it as well.
So where are you going to store it? In boxes?
Yeah, I'll just keep it in my normal kind of
Fair enough. Yeah,
travel bag that I've got, but I've got to put it all together first. Everything's magnetised, so all the boxes and stuff that sit on it are all magnetised as well, so you can take them off.
Ooh, get you.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so these... I was trying to subtly link from the fancy side cutters that I want to buy to a couple of weird sort of hobby tools that got thrown at us today on the group chat. One was something I heard on somebody else's podcast. A black pigment coloured glue. And it's from Guns Sangyo, who, if you do, this is why I was hoping Simon would come on, because he knows all about this stuff. They've got this sort of lacquer-based paint, a bit like the Tamiya paints, and they smell fantastic. If that's your vice. And they're really good. They've got a self leveling primer and extra thin glue, just regular sort of plastic glue, but that welds. You paint it on from the bottle with a brush applicator that comes in there, and it just evaporates and disappears. But by the time it's done that, it's glued your thing together, and you don't even notice. You're not squishing seams together, you're not holding it for hours waiting for this thing to stick like you do with some plastic cements. It's brilliant. And now as time of recording, next week, on Tuesday, which I think is the 4th of September, they're releasing a black version of this glue, so you can see where you've painted it on, and where you might need to paint more glue onto, because obviously clear glue isn't good enough when it's so quickly evaporating.
We're going to be able to get it in the UK, or is it going to be another one of these where, because it's got so much depth in it, we're not allowed it.
I think
Because a lot of the
I think
toy cements were like that, weren't they? Like the Tamiya ones, you couldn't get them over here. You had to import them.
Too
That's
much
right.
death.
They had too. Well, they had too much death in it. It was like the chemicals they used were like.
Well, it's MEK.
Yeah.
It's basically it's cancer in a pot.
Yeah, if you use this, you
Yeah.
might die in like 20 years.
Was it like Mr. Surfacer or something like that? That is like a grey goop that people use as primer. That's like death, isn't it? I've got some.
I want
Opened
to
it
get
up.
some.
I had a smell. I had to have a lie down for half an hour. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
What happens when you sniff solvents?
they do bring out the teenager in you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably going to replace my Vallejo paints with those, just because fun.
Yeah.
The Vallejo ones
So,
don't smell nearly bad enough.
You get halfway through painting
Well-
something and then you end up not knowing what the hell you're painting anymore because you're so high off paint.
Been there, yeah. In my unventilated shed, in February, I think it was. I was sealing a few things and spraying various varnishes over, and I was fucked. Yeah, it took about 3 days for me to get back to normal. It was, yeah. My wife wondered why I was so weirdly on edge for half of that week.
We did that once with
Have
our
you ever
cosplay
seen that?
outfits and that was it.
It's like on YouTube. Have you seen that guy? Is it OPM? He does a lot of the like, review things and he shows you how to paint certain things. And his intro is, "Hi guys," but when he's priming stuff, he uses like cellulose primers, like alkalids.
Okay.
And he goes, "You might want a bit of ventilation." And then you're watching him doing it, and I'm thinking, that guy's loving life at this moment in
By
time.
his dick.
Yeah, you just like you could just see this like vapor just covering. You can almost not see the model anymore because there's that much like alkalid primer spraying everywhere. And I'm just thinking, Jesus
Nice.
Christ.
I love Alkalad primer.
Their metallics are meant to be the best.
They are.
I've never used them, but
Yeah,
they're
they're
meant to be
great.
really good.
They're absolutely
But
stunning.
once again, it's like death in a jar.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. Well, actually,
Don't
I
drugs,
was.
kids.
Yeah, don't huff paint. It'll kill you, unless you want to. I mean, I'm not going to stop you. Do what you want.
Who are you to stop someone killing themselves?
Or getting really
I'm not
high.
a Samaritan. If you are thinking of huffing paint in order to kill yourself, don't do it because it'll happen in about 30, 40 years' time.
Yeah.
It'll slowly rot your brain, but yeah, it's fine for now.
It's like, was it Rook from Rook's APS? He was spraying some rattle can primers. And he goes, "Yes, I know." He was doing it indoors and he goes, "Yes, I know this isn't good for me, but diabetes will kill me before this stuff will."
Okay.
I was just like, yeah,
Yeah,
probably
probably
true.
true, yeah.
It's a bit of overhype on like how bad it is.
That's a lovely gulping sound.
Sorry. It's only because we're on headphones.
There's a couple of listeners just getting a little overexcited now.
And then they realise it was me.
Yeah.
That is Ian. Wait, got you.
Yeah, I was building a Gundam a couple of weeks ago. I've never built one before, and it was quite a fun little build. And I thought, well, I want to paint this, but what I don't want to do is spray the whole thing grey and then try and remember which parts are what colour. So I got out the Alclad, the Honey Primer, which is just, it's a primer for Alclads, and it's completely see-through. And then I used all my Tamiya paints because they're lacquer-based. They're acrylics, but they're lacquer, and I don't know. And they sat down on this Honey Prime so nicely. And then I sprayed some acrylic on there, and it just pulled up and fell off it like it was not meant to mix on. And I thought, yes, that's why, because I've got the wrong primer on there. And this thing looks... I'm really enjoying painting this thing. I've got to do a bit more weathering on it. I'm not sure if I enjoyed it so much because it was a brilliantly engineered model, or if it's because of the smell of the all the lacquers and primers and everything that I was kicking around in there. But it was. I think that if I make it to Telford, which I intend to, that's going with me to get displayed, because it will be probably the only thing that I'm going to finish this year.
Now, you said Gundam.
Yeah.
Is that what they call it, or is Gundam the actual brand? What's Gunpla? Is that like...
So Gunpla is... so Gundam is the actual thing. Gunpla is anything plastic.
Yeah.
It's Gundam plastic. It's just a smudge word.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's it. They're essentially interchangeable, from what I understand. I'm in no way a Gundam expert.
You may receive some strongly worded letters.
Incorrect.
Please do please contact us at modelsworkshop@email.com. I don't know what's our email address.
Don't know.
Okay. Check at the end. We'll tell you Twitters and all that shit afterwards. And send nicely worded, strong tweets.
I know nothing about Gundam, so don't message me.
No, not me.
No.
It's all Peter. Peter started this house.
It's me, and I only built it because I thought I'd put some Ready Player One stuff in to build, and I thought I'd go and get that particular one from the movie.
I watched that for the first time the other day, and it's amazing. Such a good film.
You enjoyed it?
Mm-hmm. There's so many references. I think I need to watch it about 6 times just to pick every pop culture reference.
There are more and more references every time. I've seen it. I saw it twice at the cinema. And I've seen it with my kids, and I've seen it with... I showed it to my parents last week. And by the end of it, my mum's going, it's very long.
My parents loved it. They were like, oh, it's really good, actually.
It's good fun, yeah. I mean, I don't think it'll go down in the history of the world as the best movie ever made, but certainly as a pop culture
probably.
thing, yeah.
I mean, the fact he drives a DeLorean is just cool.
It's probably like 50-50 with nerds, isn't it? It's kind of like some will be like, oh, that's amazing, look, oh yeah, I remember that, oh yeah, I remember this, and there'll be others going, that is not accurate to the fucking character. He did not have a purple button on his blazer, it was in fact mauve.
You've ruined my life. Like Star Wars all over again.
Fuck off.
It's not accurate to the book, because it didn't spend 16 hours making lists.
Text on a page.
Yes.
And he was like a fat kid who lost weight to play games, whereas they skip that bit too.
They skipped that bit, and they also skipped the whole killing one of the characters off and moving them all across the world and around the country. And there's... Because, you've got to tell you've got to tell the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory story in a couple of hours.
Of course.
I've still not seen it yet. I will.
It is really good.
It's good.
The last film I watched was Rampage.
I really want to see that. It looks like great fun.
It's amazing. It's one of these shit but good films.
Just switch your brain off for a couple of hours films.
Yeah, if you want like an in-depth story with nuanced characters and stuff like that, I'll go watch something else. But if you want to see
The Rock
a load of monsters
fighting some CG
animals
monsters,
beating the shit out of each other and blowing up buildings and all that type of stuff, then yeah. And some cheesy one-liners which kind of reminded me of the 80s, then it's a good film.
Nice.
It's awesome.
Speaking of which, Predator, the Predator comes out in a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, I watched the trailer and a little bit of potato water came out.
And Peter knows all about potatoes. So.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. do I want to go into detail on that I'm eating nothing but potatoes for a month?
Boil and mash them, stick them in the stew.
Yeah.
Boil and mash them, stick them in the stew. Potatoes.
It's the best remix ever.
Yep.
What's potatoes?
What's taters, precious?
I don't know what potatoes. Oh god, this could go on for hours.
Are you young enough for this, Peter, or are you too old?
I know the original reference, but I haven't seen the...
Please tell me you've seen the remix. Oh my god.
I haven't seen the remix. I think I've...
No, right, this is...
I think...
I'm going to have... You need to watch this right now.
Okay, yeah, you send me that. I'll watch
What's
it.
taters, precious?
What's taters? Oh, you're pretty much. Oh god, no, you need to see this.
Yeah, somebody sent me a link to George Dawes singing a potato song on Shooting Stars, where he just stands there, and it's Matt Lucas in his weird teeth and wig. You're probably too young to remember Shooting Stars. No,
Hey.
you're not. You, Claire.
Yeah, I remember Shooting Stars.
Do you? Okay,
Yeah.
so you remember George Dawes, the man with the scores?
Yeah, I used to run on and dress like a baby.
That's right. Well,
My parents had good
There's-
taste, so I got to watch cool TV programs when I grew up.
fair enough. Well, there's a song where he's just standing trying not to laugh, and every now and then he just goes, potato.
Potato.
That's
I've
it.
sent you the link. You need to see this.
Thank you.
Immediately.
I will see this. I will watch it after the podcast.
It'll blow your mind.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking forward to my mind being blown.
You'll have it in your head forever as well, by the way. Whenever anyone says potato, from now on, you'll just start humming it.
Excellent.
It's stuck in my head now. What's
Same.
taters, precious?
I mean, that line has been stuck in my mind for the last week, because that's literally all I've been doing is boiling them, mashing them, and not putting them in a stew, because I'm not allowed stew. I just having fucking nothing but potatoes.
This is next level potato trolling. Right?
So yeah, I'm now thinner than I was last week, which is good, and I'm going to get thinner again, and then assuming I don't, pass out and die.
Thinner, but more depressed.
No, I'm still on my pills. That's just
So
double
we
my
go out for food,
medication.
and she's like, "Do you want some fries?" And you're like, "No, no more potatoes."
I'm not allowed fries. I'm not allowed chips.
God, your life's so sad
Well,
right now.
you can oven cook them. If you oven cook them, it's just like having a
Yeah,
potato.
just make your wedges and put rosemary on them, like you said.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, definitely.
rosemary or some paprika,
Homemade
a bit of
wedges.
cayenne pepper.
No, he's only allowed
Definitely doing
rosemary. So
I have had a lot of paprika this week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bit of sriracha, spray it all over the top. Love it.
There's oil in sriracha, isn't there?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not allowed oil.
big no.
Nothing wrong with oil. Oil's good for you.
Not if
Good
you're on
for
a
your bones.
potato only diet.
Yeah, I'm allowed spices, and I'm allowed vinegar and
You
water.
can keep your vinegar. Fucking acid. May as well just lick a battery.
Says the vegetarian.
It's like, ooh, look at that, a potato. Shall I put some vinegar? No, I'll just lick a battery instead.
So some acid on top of it. So.
Yeah, so so we've talked about that for longer than I really wanted to. Thank you. Where did that come from? What was your?
No idea.
Somebody said something about potatoes, and you said, "Oh, Pete knows all about potatoes."
I think it was Ian's fault. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it just says my fault. I can't even remember.
Yeah, blame Ian.
Like a goldfish. Forgotten already.
There's a tangent somewhere.
Couldn't have been important.
Probably.
That's why it's on the podcast.
Thank you if you're all still listening. Any of you still with us? Well done. I'm talking to the audience right now, not to you two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But, well done for you two just sticking around for this long as well.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. I mean, Simon didn't even bother turning up today.
Because he knew we'd be
Because I
on.
think
He's like, I don't want to talk to
he
those
knew
two.
that there was going to be some fucking potato chat.
Those two are on. Why do you want to talk to those two?
Yeah, so the other thing, apart from black glue and huffing paint, that came up in the chat today, it was actually from Simon. And he was saying, "Can you tell us how this bloody thing works?" And it was from a company called Meng that are, they're well renowned for well engineered model kits and a few interesting tools, including a good side cutter, which is also very expensive. And this thing is called a CA applicator, and that's all they call it. They give it a number, but it's actually a glue station. Let's see if I can find it.
Yeah. You could probably make one out of Lego, to be honest.
Absolutely, you totally could. I mean,
and you could even use your new black glue to glue it together. Well, you probably couldn't because it's not the same plastic, but it's a nice thought.
It's a nice thought, yeah.
You're suggesting that you glue Lego?
Yep.
What's wrong with you?
You'd have to buy it from Wilko's. You wouldn't get proper Lego. Use Wilko's Lego.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
and then
you get a bucket for 50p.
Get some Lego.
Get the Craggle out.
Lego. Get the Craggle. No, get the Craggle.
Right, so this thing is the Meng MTS034CA glue applicators set. And when you look at it, it looks like this lump of metal that you'd have on a tool bench. And actually, all it is, you get a bunch of applicators in the thing and this desk accessory, and you balance where it's got these sort of rampart teeth thing, and you balance your glue applicators on those teeth to stop them dripping onto your table. And essentially that's it. On the other side of it, there's like a little hill area with two metal things on the top, which are little dips. And you pour your glue into that, and then you use the applicators to tap the glue on there and put it on your model, and then you rest
a glue
it.
Quill.
It is like an ink well, a glue well, yeah.
And if you buy one, you've had your jimmies pulled down.
I mean, I might just have to get one just to see what you mean by jimmies.
To go along with your £45 side cutter.
You're the person who has everything, so therefore this is something that you need in your life.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
It's like the people that buy 50 different types of photo etch benders. It's like you've got one, you probably cope. You don't need another 50.
You don't need another 50, no. I mean, I've got one. I probably need another one because the one I've got's a small one, so I don't really need a photo etch bender at all because I haven't done very much photo etch lately.
Just get a metal ruler, bend it.
Yeah, it's more for the curves.
Sorted.
If I ever go and build a boat, I think I'll get a longer.
With a real one.
No, a scale boat.
Oh,
An actual boat.
Like
an actual boat.
An actual
with
boat.
A photo etch bender.
I'll need a really big photo etch bender if I was going to build a real boat.
Peter, we've got the 2x4 you needed. Where do you want it? I've got this. I've got my photo etch bender on the desk.
Yay, I've built my first Space Marine tonight. Yay.
Congratulations.
I know, right? I've only made one mistake then.
Now join the club of having loads of Space Marines to paint.
I've only got 3 pieces.
It's more than that.
Oh, are they the quick assembly ones?
5.
They're
5 pieces.
They are quick assembly ones, yeah.
They're quite good.
To
They're
be
the
fair, they
same-
actually go together quite well.
Yeah, they're the ones you get in Dark Imperium. They're all right.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get, especially like, when you like buy tanks, like scale model tanks or other things, and they're like quick together, and it's like, fuck off, no it ain't. I have to take the tabs off to get it to quick together. What use is that? Bollocks.
You're lying.
Oh, there's a lot of lying in this hobby.
Yeah. Like the fact that you need a CA glue station.
Yeah,
Totally
we all
don't
go
need
back
it,
and spend our money still, so it can't be that bad.
Well, we like being lied to. That's got to be the only explanation for any of it, is that we all actually enjoy being lied to, as much as we say we don't.
Yeah. what we say we want is not actually what we want.
There you go.
For most people in life in general, for everything. Because when you get what you want, you don't actually want it.
So we'll find this out next year when Plastic's Sisters Battle turn up. Because people have been going on about wanting Plastic Sisters Battle for such a long time. And then next year they're going to come out and nobody will buy them.
There's going to be uproar, isn't it? They're going to be like, the tits are too big. You're being misogynistic about it. And then there'll be other people going, the tits aren't big enough. You know we're going to go through this argument now.
No, you can't really win.
No.
Like I said when we were first talking about them, if you don't like them, don't fucking buy them. Simple, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice if we knew how many women were involved designing the Sisters Battle. So that
how many do you think?
2? Have I over-egged that?
I've no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Let me see if I can find out.
Because then at least, you don't have the excuse of, it's just men putting their sort of wish fulfillment on plastic.
I'm not, an expert on this, and, I don't really too deep into it, but I can't remember the last time I read in White Dwarf or anywhere where they showed a designer talking about a range in Games Workshop that was a female.
No.
Pink Horrors. Yeah, the Slanesh range doesn't get talked about too much at the minute.
No. But it will do, because they're reinvigorating it.
They are. I think they're going to do less of the titty demons.
The 3-titted demons. But that's almost like the best part of Total Recall. Just saying.
It's almost the best part of Total Recall.
Yeah, the best part is Schwarzenegger's really bad acting and his eyes popping out.
His eyes popping out, yeah.
Apart from, yeah. And when he's dressed as a woman, that's good too.
That floats your boat.
Yep.
What have you found, Chloe?
They like to publish stuff, but not actually who makes it, which isn't pretty cool. It's not cool. Let's have a look. Blog.
Just have to have a scan through the old White Dwarfs and have a chat next time if we find any female designers that have actually done it. I know they've got like a few female painters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But whether they'd actually incorporate them with the design of it, but then it's kind of, even if you get a female interpretation, different females have got their own perspective of what they like and what they don't like anyway.
But that's okay, because then at least it's coming from the right side.
But what will happen is, like, say you'll have like a female designer or someone put input, and then they do it, and then people go, oh, that's still misogynistic, and then they go, yeah, but we had input from the female designer and she had a say on it, and they're like, you lying bastards, no you didn't.
You reckon?
Yeah, because that's what people are like.
Yeah, people are arseholes.
They kind of, it doesn't matter what you do. If you're honest, they tell you're lying. If you lie, they say you're lying, so you may, I don't know. Just do whatever. You're going to get shit regardless.
That is a public service announcement from Ian. Don't worry about the truth, kids, because somebody will always peg you as a liar.
My favourite quote is was it? The powers of accurate observation are often regarded as cynicism by those that do not have it. So people call me cynical, and I'm like, no, just observe. It's just reality.
I like that. I'll try and remember that.
They don't have, like, any of their designers listed underneath any models, which I think is a bit weird, really. But I don't know, maybe it stops them getting all trolled if someone doesn't like their design. But I can't see any designer info anywhere.
No, I mean you might get the lead designer, like designed by Jess Goodwin.
Yeah, because I
can't imagine he designs every fucking thing.
Just hogs a whole lot.
Because like different things within a range are designed by multiple people. So like when I went to Warhammer Fest this year, they had a talk on Idenef, however you pronounce it.
Yep.
And the design of them, they said it took them like 3 or 4 years to design it. So that's how long it takes them to design something. And that's why people go, oh, we want Sisters of Battle, we want Sisters of Battle. Well, you're going to get it, but they could have started it like 4 years ago. So it's not like they ignore it. It takes some time.
Yeah.
And they literally had, was it like 5 or 6 different people design different things within the range. And they had to like talk with each other just so they got it right. But the ones that they showed on there, none of them were female, they're all male. I think is it Maxwell? Something. He's one of the painters as well.
Okay.
He did some, and they've all got.
Oh, he's dropped out.
Hello?
No.
No, you haven't. Oh, you just stopped talking.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I just stopped talking.
No.
It's very
I
abrupt.
thought that'd be a good thing, to be honest with you.
You would think that. Well, anyway, that's just my opinion. If I don't care if the models look interesting, and by that point I might actually be playing the game. Then sounds like a good army to get stuck into, especially if it weighs a hell of a lot less than it used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't fall apart.
Well, like 1,000 metal models all clanging against each other in a bag.
Horrible.
I know. Part of me likes metal models, and part of me hates metal models.
I like the weight of them. Just feel of holding something heavy.
Yeah.
I quite like that. And the thing is, when you've got like big hands and you're a biggish person, you like a bit more weight when you're doing stuff. But it can be a bit of a ball ache to like clean up and firing down. And like
It certainly goes through your tools pretty quick, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like if you cut it with a blade, and you've got more chance of cutting yourself or whatever. But I got my Scale 75 Kickstarter come through the post.
Oh yeah. Well, is that the orc bust?
It's I don't know what it is. It's some kind of like space dude, and I looked at it and I was like, oh my fucking god! Because I looked through the blister box, and you could see the guy's hand, and there was like a big wedge missing out of it.
Oh no!
And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake! I'm gonna have to get hold of him. And the day it arrived, they sent out a message saying, we're now going on holiday for 2 weeks. So they weren't going to be there. I was like, oh, here we go. So then I put it to the side, and I was like, oh, I'll have a look at it later on. And come back to it, and it turns out that it's just where the arms cross over, the other arm slots into that bit.
Ah, okay.
So I jumped the gun. But the bit that I found, so I didn't realise that the 3 miniatures that they were giving you, which were the like 35mm ones or the 32mm ones that you got as like stretch goals,
right,
were actually made of metal. So I was like, oh, I thought they were resin, because I thought everything they did was resin. And then I had a look at it, and the one guy, you look between his legs, it's like a Space Marine alternative type thing.
Yep.
And he's got that much flash between his legs, he may as well just be wearing a skirt.
Wow.
So I'm like, that's going to be fun cleaning up. And that's just the one model, so that'll be interesting when I have a look through all of them properly.
I think I've nailed this purple.
Have you?
Sorry. Warlock.
No.
Good old Warlock purple from the original Citadel paints is saving me.
Oh,
right
yeah,
now.
I've still got that. I've got that decanted.
Yeah, me too. I'm happy.
The universe is saved.
Sorry, tangent.
No, that's good. Is it just Warlock Purple that you're using then?
No, it's like basically my old mix was a bit more of a kind of pinky purple. Like a foot rather than, I think the ones now are very dark and bland, whereas this is more like a fuller colour. So I just thought I'd trick a bit of this and see what happens. It's worked quite well. So I'm hoping it's enough to save it.
So what's your recipe?
In the minute I do Gene Stealer purple base, and then I've got the game colour Purpura. I don't even know what that says. It's like the game colour purple, essentially, from Vallejo. And it's quite dark. And then chuck a bit of Warlock purple in and some game colour khaki.
Okay.
And it seems to be working alright so far, rather than just the same shade of purple that's Citadel seem to pump out in every single one of their purple paints. It's just a lighter version of the same one, by the looks of it.
Right, yeah.
Which is a bit annoying.
Well, it's a good way of you dumping £2.50 each time, isn't it?
It's true. I wish I'd known that before I bought all of them.
Well, that's the thing with a lot of their colours, isn't it? It's just one of their colours mixed with another colour to make another colour.
Yeah.
So you can actually mix them yourself. I think the Eden F colours, the newer ones, they're just colours they've already got, and they just kind of mixed them, and then they went to the design team, to the paint team, and went, look, can we actually have this as an actual colour? And I said, yeah, okay.
They went, yeah, but just add some white to it.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Yeah, you've got to go through a lot of white if you're mixing. I mean, in theory, you only need, if you've got a good set of pure base primary colours, and a good black and a good white and whatever metallics you want, that's all you need is those 5.
Mm-hmm.
But finding the right perfect primary colours is well, it's next to impossible at the minute.
There's never a perfect red or anything, is there? It's a bit annoying.
No.
Well, it's because they no longer make them with like cadmium and some of these other minerals that are like meant to be dangerous to you.
Death in a tube,
So
yeah.
Yeah, because if you look at the old Vallejo reds, it was actually cadmium red,
Yeah.
and it had it in it, but they don't have it now, and they call them all these like stupid names, and because it's not the actual proper mineral, it's very hard to go, oh, that's a perfect red and that's a perfect yellow, and
So you've got to go and find some black market cadmium dealer to mix up a decent paint.
Give me some pigments.
I actually quite like Joe Sonja. Is it Joe Sonja? Something like that. They come in like tubes, and they're like £7 a tube, but there's like 100 mil or whatever it is, and it's the paint that a lot of the Koreans learned to paint with,
Right.
because they didn't have access to Games Workshop and Vallejo, so they used this, which is like it's almost like a decorative artist paint. And some of the stuff that they come out with, as you've probably seen on like box arts, is amazing.
It's ridiculous.
And that's what a lot of them use until they got access to other brands of paint. So it can be done. And I was watching a video on a guy that does oil painting, and he literally uses 5 colours, but he uses red, yellow, blue, like you'd use, and then uses white and uses brown, not black.
Okay.
Because nothing in life is actually black. Unless it's man-made. So technically you'd never need black for anything.
Okay.
So that's why they don't use it. But he did say the caveat is, with primary colours, you can only get like a colour that's so bright. So when it comes to using getting a colour that's really bright, you do have to use something else. Like if you wanted a bright blue, you'd use like a phthalo blue, rather than your ultramarine blue or whatever.
Right.
So on most things you can get the colour, but if you wanted something really bright and vibrant, you would have to use a different colour.
Yeah.
But colour theory is like really interesting, but it's just messes with your mind.
It's basically the issue I've come across with this, though, is that everything's just really... If you use these purple paints from Citadel, they're already boring and the same kind of shade, whereas now I've mixed in the Warlock purple, which is quite pink. It's added more depth to it, so... guessing which one to put in, really.
It's good. Yeah, I would love to be able to do a good purple. What I'm doing at the minute is passable, and certainly is. The guy's going to pay me for it, but to see a really good purple scheme that works and that looks pretty. I don't think I'm there yet.
I mean, it's quite a darkish colour. I can't remember if it's the African or the Indian colour from Scale 75.
Oh yeah, that's.
But it's almost like a plum.
Yeah.
So that's a nice one for doing like shadows and stuff like that. But or if you wanted like a darker scheme, that's quite a nice purple.
True. Yes. Yeah, I should remember that. Yeah, I was looking at that just the other day. Yeah, I had something in my head, then it's gone. I had some Kickstarter updates this week from things that we've backed. Today, in fact, I had the rules come through from, or they're not the final, they're beta test rules from Dungeons and Doggies. And that's, how many pages is that? 22, did you say?
22 pages, yeah.
Yeah, I might read that at some point, but I don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons, so I'm not sure whether reading the rules for these dogs would actually be of any use to me.
I'll read it next week and tell you.
Thanks. Should record it, read it out loud, record it, and we'll post it as a I don't know, some sort of Insomniac's help guide.
An audiobook for Dungeons and Doggies.
Yeah, beta release 1.
I'm sure Russ would like that.
Well, maybe hopefully his lawyers wouldn't sue from for whatever. But yeah, just credit. And the other update thing I had was from it was yesterday. I got an email from the Hellboy backer with a $20 voucher for Dark Horse Comics and a free Hellboy comic.
So it's forgotten to do that. You just
So I
reminded me, thank you.
Yeah. So I spent the next 5 minutes just filling my iPhone with digital download comics. Great.
I need to do that. Did you get Seed of Destruction through as well?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's the free Hellboy one, Seed of Destruction, and then $20 to spend as you will. And actually, if you buy it if you go to their American store, use the dollar value there, because so I got the Aliens versus Predator versus Judge Dredd
Nice.
for a 4-issue series that came out last year. And I've read through the first one, and it's good fun. That's £1.99 on the UK version of the store, or through their app. And on the American one, it's $1.99.
Ah.
So you can stretch your voucher just that little bit further. So I have 7 cents left, and I don't really know what to do with 7 cents, so it's going to stay there in my account.
Until you get another voucher from another Kickstarter.
Possibly, yeah.
And there's no sense in wasting it.
Absolutely not. Why would I waste 7 cents? I mean, you can do literally nothing with it. Yeah, so I've got loads. What did I bought some Aliens, and obviously the AVP Dread, and a few of their freebies, which I think basically just spent it on Aliens comics.
Sounds good. I'll have a look on that later. Get my downloads.
And then, yeah, today in WH Smith, while buying this Warhammer Conquest, just everything they had. Right next to it was the next Hachette thing was the graphic novels of Deadpool.
I got that too.
Is that a
Because-
subscription one?
It's a subscription one, but the first one is £1.99.
I get that. Sounds good.
And it's Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been wanting to read that for ages, and it just cost me less than £2.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And it's not actually a bad quality book either, because half the time when you get them, they're kind of like tissue paper inside the paper, but it's actually good quality, or better quality anyway.
Yeah, I mean it's £2 worth of book, but it's certainly not toilet paper, is it? No. And if you want to subscribe to the whole thing, I think there's 70 issues, and the last one is Deadpool Kills Deadpool.
I'm going to wait like a year and find them on a car boot somewhere.
There you go.
That's what I normally do.
Yeah, I did a similar thing with they did just a Marvel series, and there was a Spider-Man one that I wanted, so I think I paid the $2.99 or whatever it was for that. Or actually, no, it was 99p. And never bothered getting any of the others. So yeah, I should visit some car boots and see if there are any of those kicking around.
They must be doing it in a random order, because on the spine of the actual Deadpool book it says 64.
It is 64, yeah.
Oh, that would wind
rather
me
than
up.
1.
That would really wind me up.
So you'd go like 64, and then like issue 2 is going to be like 1, and you have to go all the way to 63 before you can level it up.
Oh, that pissed me off
Yeah.
so much.
Or they go backwards. They could go backwards, couldn't they? They go like 80.
Oh, it'd be horrible. Yeah, I mean and of course it draws out a picture on the spine.
Yeah.
No, no. This is getting worse.
Yeah, and it's to make sure people with any form of OCD make sure they subscribe and buy everything.
I need to have the
Even
whole
worse, it could be on shuffle, couldn't it?
Oh God. Random.
So it doesn't even come out as like- It'd be like 64, 12, 29.
Guaranteed it'll be like that.
Yep.
And the thing that'll happen, that'll be the worst thing, is that they'll print one of them will be printed wrong. So they'll get the right number, but it'll be in the wrong place, and they'll have the wrong art. So you'll have to go like 50, 55, 56, 59, 57, 58 for it to look correct on the picture, but then the numbers are out of order, and your brain will hate you forever. Because which one do you do right?
Although,
do you get
it's not...
Do you do numerical, or do you picture, or do you cut out the numbers and stick them over the other one just to make it look right?
But then you know it's not right.
This is why they
Yeah.
all end up on the car boot.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, my parents bought, they subscribed because they wanted me to read, and they didn't want me to read crap like comic books. So they bought, I forget what it was called, but it was a whole series of the classics. And I remember sitting there reading Oliver Twist, and it was missing chapter 10, and it had 2 chapter 11s.
Oh my God.
Nice.
So at that point, I closed it and put it back on the shelf and started reading computer manuals. Because I knew
That's
that
the day
those
I
were...
became a nerd.
That's the day, yeah, I decided not to become an English literature academic. Yeah, please, sir, I want some more. I want some more. What?
I want some more chapters.
Yeah, I want the right fucking chapters, thanks.
I really just want one copy of Chapter 11. That'd be great.
Yeah, and maybe could you fill me in on what happened just before? And
No, that'd be great.
that'd be fine. Yeah, if only old novels were structured like reality TV. So that at the beginning of every chapter, it gives you a recap of everything that had happened before, and by the end of the chapter, they tell you what's about to happen. And there's actually only one page in the middle. That's
I mean, it's nearly as bad as bringing out a £25 codex and then the following day going, It's already out of date. Here's a PDF to download.
Wait a second.
Who's done that?
Space Wolves. They released it, didn't they? And then like within a day, everyone's going, "Hang on a second, this is shit. It's out of date. It's wank." And then they go, "Oh yeah, we didn't think that the commands were good enough. So here's a PDF to download, which is basically black with white writing, so it'll use all your ink as well."
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Woohoo, environment.
So I should wait to for the second edition version or
Yeah.
the second printing.
I think it's only the English one though.
Oh, I'll get it in French. That'll
The
be
other
fucking
languages
useful.
are fine.
Yeah, because they won't have printed on the same day, will they? Oh man, that's I missed that bit of news.
Way to waste money.
You could do that though, can you? You get the Spanish version of it, and then you go and play your game, and then you say, "Oh yeah, my Space Wolves can do this," and they go, "What? No, they can't." They go, "It does. It says there." And I said, "I can't read it in Spanish." Well,
Nah.
I can. It says it does this. Now fuck off.
Yeah, it says they magically win everything every time you roll any number above 2. I win.
I'm going to go get the
says-
Spanish version.
Yeah.
2 to 6, I win. 1, you lose.
There you go.
No, my luck though. My crappy translation of Spanish. And so I'll end up playing someone like Fluent. Mother crap.
Oh, well, get something a bit more, weird. Get it in Farsi. Because there's not likely to be very many Warhammer players that speak Farsi.
That's true. I know a little bit. So, like,
Oh, right,
I would
okay.
recognise a few pieces.
Whoops.
Or Arabic or something.
Or Irish. That's pretty difficult.
Time.
Potatoes.
I showed my wife. I showed my wife earlier because I was saying I went 33 and a third, and she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm Irish,"
Potato.
and she goes, "What?" Because she's from the Philippines, if anyone doesn't know. So she's a bit like naive in that sense. So I showed her, and she thought it was hysterical that they can't pronounce TH. Tanks
a bunch. Yeah,
Tanks.
don't ever show her anything with Jonathan Ross on it then.
No.
I thought it was 33.
And
I grew up with
so
my nan doing that.
any Irish listeners can get in touch with Ian at.
I'm part Irish. It's fine. I'm
Oh,
allowed.
you're allowed. Okay,
Same.
It's like if you're fat, you can tell fat jokes, can't you?
I certainly can.
Alright, potato famine, calm down.
Well, I mean, give me another couple of weeks on. Oh God, potato famine! Imagine fat Irish people
You'd be screwed.
doing potato famine. That's just never going to happen. My wife claims to be Irish, so that's okay.
Claims to be.
She had an Irish wolfhound as a kid.
Well, no, her parents were allegedly Irish, but I mean, she was born in Manchester.
But is this like when everyone in America says that they're actually Scottish? Because they've got like some descendant from 4 generations ago who was Scottish.
Yeah, it's like you see all these people in New York drinking Guinness because they're Irish.
Yeah.
And it's like,
But they've
hang on
not
a
been
second.
Irish for like
It was
3.
your great grandmother.
They've not
dick.
been Irish for like 6
You're not Irish.
generations.
Yeah, it don't count. It would be like me going, yeah, I like fur pelts because my ancestors were Vikings.
Yeah, well, my family
I'm a
literally comes from
Viking.
Norway, so like
Yeah.
I was totes a Viking like 1,000 years ago, so therefore I'm Norwegian now.
Yeah. Sorry, it makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
No. It's like when you go you. No disrespect to like Americans and stuff. I'm sure they're very proud of their heritage, but it's where they go, yeah, I'm 1/10 Spanish, 2/4 Irish, 15 thirds, whatever they are.
Navajo.
I got a quarter English,
And did you do fractions in
6/8
schools?
Welsh. Yeah, but that's what it sounds like when they're talking about it, and it's like, no, you're American,
You're American.
unless your grandparents.
Um,
We'll go as far as grandparents. Unless your grandparents were like Irish
Like your
or English,
Your ancestors were.
you're American. Jog on.
Yeah.
You're American when you wave your flag everywhere, so you're American when you say where you're from.
Indeed.
makes sense to me.
Yeah, I don't have a national identity. I was born in Romania. My dad's English. My mum was born in Germany and lived in America for half her childhood. So, yeah, and then lived in Romania. So it's who knows where I'm from.
It's like me going,
South
my mum's
London?
surname's King, so I'm obviously royalty.
Well, yeah. Oh, God, my surname's Brown.
Yeah, we'll probably leave that one there.
Yeah.
You could say you could tell people you Russet.
Peter Russet. Yeah. No.
Peter Russet.
Well, maybe I can do that as my nom de plume. If I ever write a book. I'm certainly never going to read one.
I mean, it suits, doesn't it? Because it's like Russet is like, another name for brown. It has its like, connections with potatoes.
Just perfect. Yeah.
This episode is definitely
Peter
a
is just
potato
a-
theme on the actual heading of it. Though.
Brown potato.
Yeah, okay, fine. I'll put a fucking spud on the thumbnail.
Watch the thing and just put boil and mash and stick in the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the link there. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Potato Head. Oh, speaking of Mr. Potato Head, I really like the. Have you seen that? It's old. I mean, someone did it years ago, but it's the potato head, and they turned it into like a stomper.
Yes, that was mega.
It's amazing. I've always wanted to do one,
I
but
forgot
I
about
can't
that.
find a potato head anywhere.
That is
And when
annoying.
you do find a Mr. Potato Head, it's like freaking stupid. It's like a Batman one or
Oh, yeah.
They never did normal
a
ones.
Ninja Turtle one. It's like, can I just have a normal potato head, please?
Do we to keep an eye out for you on my car boot endeavours?
Oh, you car boot master.
Yeah, I'll find one for you.
Awesome. Love it.
And then you can convert it and we can all go,
You ever been to Chirk?
no.
It's got meant to be like one of the biggest car boots in the country, isn't it? Everyone keeps going on about how good Chirk is, and if you walk around it, you'll never get around it in a day. It's so big.
What's the point in that
I'm
then?
pretty sure you can. Yeah. Don't know.
Poor bastards at
But-
the back don't sell anything then, do they? I'm not going
But there's
there.
always
What's
there's
that?
always one person that sells rusty nails, don't they? Who the fuck is going to buy
Yeah,
rusty
do you want
nails?
to buy
that are
these
bent?
tools that have been sitting in the rain for 10 years? No, fuck off. I don't want them.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
I can't car boot. It's,
No,
yeah.
I can't. I hate it. The best thing about car boots is when you go and they've got a fresh donut, dude.
Oh, yes.
That's about it. I used to, because where I used to go by when we were by the river, there was a car boot in the field next to us, so we used to go to the car boot because my wife would drag me there. And I'd be like, oh, for fuck's sake, this is boring. It's like, I haven't even walked through the gate and I'm bored. So then I'd just be like, I can smell blue donuts. And I'd just be like walking around trying to find a donut place. It's in the same place all the time, so I didn't really have to look for it, but
Good sometimes.
it's an adventure.
It used
Yeah.
to be decent because you used to get quite a lot of Warhammer stuff and Magic the Gathering and all that kind of thing on there, but then everyone caught on to the fact that you could sell it on eBay for more. So, yeah, no, there's not really anything decent on there now, as in hobby-wise.
No.
But,
You can pick up the odd book every now and again,
yeah,
but
some old
it's whether
codices
you want
and
to
stuff.
collect them.
Loads
Yeah,
of old
it's-
codices, that's all I ever see, really.
And it's more for collecting than for use because they're, seven
So old.
editions old, aren't they? So it's,
Yeah. I mean, I had quite a few of the Chaos ones, but I've just like got rid of them. I've done that with a lot of stuff actually. I've like started to like declutter all my shit because you just have too much. So I've made loads and loads of space by getting rid of stuff, giving it to charity shops and all that type of stuff. So now I've got more space to put more models on the shelf.
Makes sense.
I just stick my stuff in the loft.
In your shed.
Don't have one.
Well, no, sometimes the shed, yeah, and that's got a bit cluttered lately. It's kind of difficult to work in there at the minute. But yeah, I was up in the loft and I found, about 10 years ago, I started buying up old books of things that I thought might come back. So I found the Inquisitor rule set. Never managed to get any of the models for Inquisitor. They're 54mm metal models.
They're really
I know.
cool. I painted the whole set of them. Sold them quite a bit
Have
as
you?
well, actually. I There was a Space Marine. Whatever his name. There's a large Space Marine one as well. And one of my friends sent me the sword free because I was missing that one piece. I got it for eBay.
Okay.
They sent it free to me. It's a really good set actually. Sold them. But yeah, good models, good detail. Heavy.
Yeah, they look great. Yeah, very heavy. Yeah, they were going about.
You had to pin everyone.
When I was looking at them, they were about £20 each. No, I don't want to pay that.
I had to pin everything because it was just falling apart.
Oh, of course. Well, it's metal. Unless you're soldering it together, you've got to pin it. Oh, maybe I should be soldering stuff together. Well, thank God the dogs, when we get them next summer, they're all one piece.
Yes. This is true.
Just got to glue them. No, paint them, not glue them. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
God. Yeah, I'm fine. I was just... I just literally clipped my last Space Marine together out of this set of 3 because I've been painstakingly scraping mould lines off. And now I have 3 Space Marines, so maybe I'll paint them.
Booyah.
I know.
Progress.
But do I want to paint them in blue, black and gold?
And please don't do them in ultramarine colours, it's so boring.
No, you don't want Smurfs.
So boring.
The thing is, I don't think I've ever painted an I haven't painted an ultramarine in about 20 odd years.
You don't want to.
No, I
You
don't.
want to do, yeah. It's not going to be enjoyable. All that blue, so boring.
Yeah. I might do them gold with blue tint. Because I'm limited to the 3 paints I have in front of me. Right?
What options can I do this in?
I can do like mix the blue and the black and make a very desaturated blue-grey.
You could do a black with blue edge highlights,
Oh, yeah.
pads, and gold helmets as well.
That could work. Nice and simple.
And then
God.
get your base down. That's it.
Yeah. And then I could do a gold wash over the top and give them the sort of nice glitter.
Shine.
Or you could just mix the painting together and paint it.
Fabulous.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would be beautiful. Sort of this,
Going all Gokwan on his
Shimmery.
Air Space Marines.
just dip them.
Can't beat it.
Do you ever see the Hello Kitty Marines?
Yes,
I
think I've
can't
seen those.
remember who
Yeah.
did them. They were years ago. Someone did a whole army of Hello Kitty Space Marines. They were just disgusting but amazing at the same time.
I saw an army of Buzz Lightyear Marines.
That's cool.
They were brilliant.
White,
Yeah, they were
Lots of
mostly
white.
grey and white, and yeah, but with that purple and green.
blue and visor stuff.
I think the favourite thing I've seen someone do painting wise is where they got a load of ogres and turned them into Marvel superheroes.
No.
So you got like Fat Spider-Man and Fat Wolverine.
That's cool.
I like that.
The versions are great.
Yeah, it's nice to have a bit of imagination sometimes when you put together things that everybody else just does standard. I mean, even with these guys, you know, they're telling us in the magazine, yeah, there are sons of 1,000 chapters. It's like, yes, and the poster has, 100?
Yeah,
Which
this is
means-
the thing.
And one of them's missing.
But you're supposed to make up your own, aren't you? So they don't want to give you too many.
No. Well, you've got 900 colour schemes to sort out for yourself. Fucking hell, those fireworks are going off again.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's fireworks. Yeah. It happened a couple of months ago. Oh, fuck.
Sounds like you've got a popcorn machine going.
Oh, they look well cool.
Yeah.
I like the angel one. Oh my god.
I love Deadpool.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
for anyone For anyone that's listening and think, well, I've just linked the picture of the superhero ogres.
That's
Oh,
so
they're brilliant.
Cool. That's amazing.
You'll find them in the show notes below.
That's stunning. Cyclops ogre is great.
Deadpool and Mega.
And where is he? Oh, yeah, look at that. Is that Cable next to him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like
Original.
Deadpool, Cable,
Yeah.
Original Cable.
Captain America,
Angel.
Tits with Wings, Iron Man, Cyclops, Wolverine.
That's funny as hell. I love it. So, Kickstarters. We should sort of wind up with chatting about a couple of Kickstarters, yeah?
Yeah.
So, let me grab my laptop. Now I'm not scraping blue dust everywhere. I can concentrate on something interesting. Yeah, so we've got 3. So the first one will be easily long gone by the time this goes out, because there are only 44 hours to go. It's Dungeon Odyssey 3D printable miniatures. And they look pretty cute. They do say on this, 16 miniatures. These models can be printed at home or through 3D printing service, such as Shapeways, at any scale you like. So, I won't go through all the pledges, but basically, if you want all of them, it's $60. And you'll get them in September, and it's September already. So, basically, they've got them all. As soon as you pay for it, you can get the files and get them printed. There's a cute-looking goblin. Is that a dragon with a sword?
Looks like it.
A gnome that's wearing a goat hat. An orc bard. And something called Tortle, which is a turtle, which looks like a Koopa Trooper. Which I quite like. I like that. It's a tortoise holding... What weapon is that? A rock on a stick?
Basically, yeah. A hammer. Self-made.
It's a hammer, a mace, yeah.
Like the bard guy.
And the dwarf warlord is... He's a bit meh. He's a bit standard, but yeah... As a group of miniatures, they're nice, and if you can print them at home, well done to you for buying a 3D printer. I haven't got one, and I don't know if we've got anything in the UK for like Shapeways. I need to do some research into that, because at some point I might. I was looking at getting a copy of ZBrush and learning to sculpt, and then I saw it was £1,000, and I thought, no, I won't. So let's move on. Unless you've got anything you want to say about the thing that ends tomorrow?
Nope.
No? Ian?
Nope, what?
Okay. Black Hallows Townsfolk. So they're almost pledged. They've got nearly a month to go. They've got £9,367 off a £10,000 goal. I don't know how when this was when this went live.
It's 30 days left on it, so probably not wrong.
So it's basically within a day or two. It seems to have funded, and these are 28 and 32mm high-quality pewter miniatures for RPG, wargames and collectors. But they also start with 75mm characters. So if you pledge £22 or more, you can pick up a single 75mm character in resin. If you want any more, they're £18 each after that. So that's not bad.
It's not bad for 75 mil.
No.
They're normally like opening your bum cheeks.
Yeah.
Expensive.
Yeah. A set of 14 metal miniatures in either 28 or 32 will cost you 45 quid. And then the Collectors and Painters Pledge, which is a set of 15 miniatures in 75 mil, and that's 240 quid.
I like these. I like the models.
They're good-looking models.
I especially like the guy with the plough and the guy cleaning his mug, so the innkeeper, and the dude with his big hammer.
Yeah. Yeah, the dude with the big hammer is... he's a good generic warrior, isn't he?
Yeah, I've got a bit of time, but I am tempted to get the models.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't be going for the £240 one.
Okay, the 45 quid, and...
I
what?
might get that one, or I might just get the dude with the big hammer.
Ah, fair enough. You've got £5 hero character paid add-ons of...
Druid.
What's her name? She's a druid, Melisandria Moonwatcher. So she's the... is she in the main picture? Yeah. Oh, cheeky. So the painted... The lady with the green dress with the very well hidden knockers. She's actually an add-on for £5.
Yeah.
Intelligent and possessing an inquiring mind.
I bet.
Yeah.
It's bollocks.
Yeah.
Bit of resin.
But
Yeah.
it's just as model
Yeah.
guys.
She's not sentient. She's just fucking metal. And they've got a number of planned stretch goals, which include a number of free add-ons. Details to follow.
Oh, and if you're one of the first 500 pledges, you get a pewter coin.
So, if you don't want to pay extra for shipping, be the 501st.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between the 28 and the 32 mil isn't huge, but I think when you're painting it, there'll be a fair amount of difference. And then you jump up to the resin and 75 mil and look at the chap with the big hammer. That's huge. I mean, it's only double 32. Well, a bit more than
It's like
double,
a
but
pretty chunky model from what I've seen on Instagram of it.
Yeah,
Quite
it
good.
does look really nice.
and our friend Angel has been painting these Angel Heraldes with his magic brushes.
Magic airbrush.
His magic airbrushes. I mean, he's mostly airbrush, isn't he? And then just tweaks a few bits
Dabs
with
a bit.
dabs a bit. Yeah. I mean, if that's
That leather is really nice, though, on the actual finished model.
that
Yeah,
looks
that's
great. Yeah. The Druid and the Farmer's Daughter. I mean, yeah. Both of these are some serious wish fulfillment from a sculptor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, one of the characters is actually called Servin Wench,
Brilliant.
and her name is Morwenna Proudson.
Okay.
So think of that what you will.
Very
and-
outgoing and strong-willed, apparently. For the most part,
and
she
she
ignores her father's wishes and makes up her own mind about the folks and events in the town.
Yeah, and just walks around with her jugs out.
Sounds like
Yep.
my kind of woman.
Well, then you'll like the milkmaid because she's equally well endowed.
Yeah, she's got a pailful.
Yeah, and her name is Beth Willowbeam. She's intelligent and ambitious with a tenacious personality. I mean, are we swiping on these?
Yeah, it's Tinder for
What?
Pewter Tinder.
Tinder for RPGs.
Yeah.
What a weird name. The father's daughter's called Elizabeth Barleycrag.
I haven't got that far. Hang on. Let me scroll down.
But Funny enough, Granny doesn't have her titties out.
Does she not?
No.
Oh.
She's got a fair pair, but they're not out.
That's ageism.
You can see him poking through the
Definitely ageism.
through the nun suit.
What, by her knees?
No, they're quite perky. To
Oh,
be fair.
well done to her. They've got a... What's her name? Granny Autumn Sword. What the hell?
What a name. Love it.
God, can you imagine when she was young and people calling her Granny Autumn Sword? It was like, don't fucking call me Granny. Well, why would my parents call me that?
Muscle.
I know. Oh yeah, Elizabeth Barleycrag. Yeah, she's got a nice bucket. Jesus. Twin number 1 and twin number 2, they look quite similar.
Oh my god.
I mean,
I'll tell you
one's
about.
Hey, I'm
dad
allowed
joke,
to make the dad jokes, yeah. There's a beggar, and under that there are risks and challenges, like everything else. It's good-looking models, and I'm sure at some point somebody's going to throw some of these at me to paint on commission. I probably won't buy any of them. Although 22 quid to get a serving wench might be worth it.
75mm scale.
Oh, of course.
You probably want to use an airbrush for that.
Yeah, definitely. So our third one, and this was chosen by Chloe, is... oh my god. As I clicked onto it, it just started scrolling up the price of what's been pledged. So this is Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid board game, and they were looking for £76,000 and 877, and they're up to 334. So I think they'll be fine with 6 days to go. I think they'll catch their pledge manager quite well. Although, but 13 plus Kickstarter exclusives, funded in under 8 hours, 130 plus figures in the all-in pledge. This is like it's almost like Hellboy Revisited, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Yeah, so $75, sorry, at the lowest. No exclusives or add-ons included. But you get for $75 you get a $90 worth board game. And you'll get that next summer. For $90 you get the board game plus all the unlocked exclusive stretch goals. $150 you get the board game, you get an expansion exclusive, you get another expansion exclusive, you get an alternate sculpted Reader Repulsor, and all the stretch goals. For $240. This is the all-in. You get the board game, you get the 2 expansions, the Reader Repulsor alternate sculpt, another expansion worth $60, a pack of foot soldiers, a set of dice, a Megazord, and all the stretch goals.
And a cuddly toy.
And a conveyor belt.
I think they might send you the conveyor belt, yeah. God, they've had 1,500 people back that particular one. Well,
I
they've
just want
got
Megazord and Pumpkin Wrapper. That's what I'm after.
Yep, the Megazord looks great.
It does. If they do that separately, I'll be definitely up for getting that.
eBay.
It's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, the head sits at 120mm, and then he's got He-Man's sword. They all seem to be rocking the same He-Man sword. Or a slight variation on it.
Easier production.
Yeah. Well, copy and paste on ZBrush. But yeah, they're going from the Red Ranger, which is a 54 mil ish. I think that'll be around 54 mil. And Rita Repulse is about just over 60 mil. Goldar is a bit bigger still with his wings, and then the Megazord is double that. That's great.
Huge.
That sort of Tau battlesuit, crisis suit kind of size. The resin ones I'm talking about. The oh god, what are they called?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know the one. The big Tau ones, yeah. The poses are fun on these. The if you like Power Rangers. And the monsters look like the monsters do.
So it's all nostalgia.
Yeah, they're very early 90s Power Ranger stuff, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. So it's just cheese, isn't it? That's why.
Foam suit monsters.
Pumpkin wrappers like so cool. Especially going to
Yeah, I mean, the
Seems to be
putties
good.
look good.
Yeah.
I like the putties, and you get cards. Oh god, boards, cards, tokens, and more. Well, it's going to be one of these games where you're just popping out pieces and trying to figure out what the hell the next thing is to do,
Yeah, to be honest, I probably just paint the models.
and then and shelve the game.
Yes.
And of
So
course,
when you said
Hmm?
when you said Power Rangers, Heroes of the Grid, I instantly had Tron theme music going through my head, and I half expected to see Jeff Bridges halfway down the screen.
saying he got in.
Heroes of the Grid. Wow, 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 wow.
I imagined the Power Rangers as networks of rangers talking to each other, and then one day I got in. Alpha 5 looks cool. I like that's a nice sculpt. Just added as a Kickstarter exclusive. So yeah, if you've got $240 and fancy waiting a year to receive some fun bits of probably low quality vinyl. To be fair, right?
What? Surely there'd be no bendy sword syndrome.
So,
Yeah, right. I mean,
What?
we haven't seen. There are no pictures here of any real models. They're all renders. They obviously haven't printed out the large scale ones to send off to Angel, so they can make them look amazing.
one small batch quality.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a learn to paint goal, Instagram goal. 500 likes on the Power Rangers Here's the Grid Instagram. And reward is a miniature painting expert, Terry Latorca, will create a painting tutorial video to help you add some extra flair to your new minis. Just out of being me, I'm not going to click that.
I'm so excited I could shit.
It's not Hellboy.
It's not Hellboy. It's going to take a lot to add up to
Hellboy.
Hellboy, really, isn't it? It's set the bar quite high. Good old Mantic.
I mean, literally, yes, it's not Hellboy. It's Power Rangers. If it was Hellboy, it would not fit in this universe very well. But yeah, it's not quite up there. It looks like fun, but to get everything in for $240, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I used to love Power Rangers as a kid, but it's one of those where I just feel it hasn't aged well for me. And I've gone back and watched one before, and I'm like,
So cheesy.
yeah, it's just not the same.
So cheesy.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course it's cheese. Yeah, I mean it's with the stock footage of every time they do any jumping and fighting, and suddenly they're from the middle of town into this weird wasteland. I remember there's always just the they're always in.
Let's go fight there again. Oh, okay.
That's
That's what you get.
What's
when you film
what's
it.
the name of their
Is it filmed
town?
in,
Is
like
it-
Australia or something? I can't remember. Filmed
No
somewhere
idea.
random.
But yeah, there was just this gravel pit that they used to fight in.
Somewhere like in the outback in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Let's fight here. 'Cause there's no set and it's cheaper. We can CGI some cardboard buildings and we're good to go.
The fight scenes were the exact same. You could just use the footage from the first episode.
Yeah.
Because when they blew up, they kind of did that roll and then like, grabbing their chest. It's like,
There's always like sparks and explosives. Like
yeah.
teaching kids to be
Yeah, but when you watch
melodramatic.
it back
since
now,
the
I'm just
90s.
kind of like, yeah, it's just not as cool. No.
I watched
Spent
was it 2016 movie?
Oh,
Yeah, it's wank.
Oh, it's great. It was good fun.
Yeah, it's wank.
I loved it.
It's dog piss.
I mean, it was the Breakfast Club with ninjas,
Yeah.
but they had an autistic lead. They had the first superhero, the gay superhero character.
They were ticking all the PC boxes, that's for sure.
Oh yeah,
It was definitely diverse.
yeah, and Elizabeth, what's her face, Banks, is chewing up all the scenery. Looked like she really enjoyed playing Rita Repulsa. I enjoyed it as a bit of, a bit of shit fun while I was travelling on somewhere and watching it on my phone. But yeah, I'm not going to buy this. Out of any of these, I might. I'm going to keep the tab open on.
Bucks and boobs.
Yeah, maybe. Of course, knowing me, I'll shy away from that so I don't get into trouble, and just buy some guy with a big fucking hammer.
Yeah.
I might go and buy the milkmaid. I mean, she's got a bucket on her head and a very sassy pose. So yeah, I think it's just like saying, yeah, I'm gonna do this wiggling hip walk while I'm trying to not spill the milk off my head. If you've ever tried to walk with anything liquid on your head, walking like that does not work.
There's no practicality.
There is no practicality there, no, not at all. You kind of need to stay upright and walk really, really boringly. But, maybe she doesn't have anything in her bucket. She's just sort of
Maybe
pretending.
she's just pretending.
Yeah.
She doesn't really have any milk at all.
No?
It's a lie.
Be like, what are you doing in the shed later on, Peter? I'm just going to paint the milkmaid's tits.
Say what?
Say what? Yeah. Although, Elizabeth Barleycrag, the farmer's daughter, I mean, that as a name
Yeah.
is do you go with Beth Willowbeam or Elizabeth Barleycrag? I mean, it's the question for all ages.
I mean, I've got a question here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's more like I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah.
You got the milkmaid,
Yeah.
Beth Willowbeam. Yeah, that's fine. And the description is an intelligent, ambitious girl with a tenacious personality.
There's not a lot of ambition. She's a milkmaid.
Yeah, I was just about to say she's got a fucking bucket on her head,
It's an honourable profession back in
and
those
she's
days.
wearing wooden clogs. That's not intelligent,
Yeah.
is it? You think you're walking around, you got wooden clogs on, you're gonna trip on a stone, you're gonna do your ankle in, milk's gonna fall off your head and go everywhere. You could get concussion. You just thick as shit.
Yeah, but apparently they're really good for your posture and quite comfortable.
Clogs or buckets on your head.
Yes.
But she's walking like she's like trying to get a mark. She's got like her hands on her hip and her arse is stuck in the
That's
air.
exactly what I was just saying, yeah. That milk's going everywhere. But she might, she might pick up some somebody to party with.
I've just got like Herman's Hermit song in my head now. If anyone's old enough to, well, there's going to be a lot of people old enough to know what that is, but maybe not Chloe.
I think Chloe is young but knows more than she lets on.
True.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got 10 out of 10 on our 70s music quiz the other day, so I'm just saying. All over.
Was that clickbaited with? I bet you can't get more than 60%. 85% people can't get more than 65.
No, I think there was an error on it because it said anyone over the age of 35 will definitely not be able to recognise these songs. So my friend at work did it, who's like nearly 50, and he was like, "That was really easy. They're all from the 70s and stuff." I was like, "Maybe it means younger than 35." So I'll try it, and I absolutely nailed it. I got 10 out of 10. And I was like, "Yeah, to be fair, most people like under 35 probably wouldn't be able to get all of them." But you know, it's got good taste in music.
But they got their view count for their monies on the website.
Oh yeah, so I mean it's free, so I don't really care. But killed 5 minutes
Oh, yeah.
on the lunch break.
But you've clicked through and given page impressions, which means they've had some ad serving. So yeah, they're hitting their quota of bullshit filling the internet.
I'm here to help.
Yep. I mean, I'm saying it with massive judgment in my voice, and I think I did exactly the same one. Yeah, I've sometimes during the summer holidays when you're not out working and you're sitting there and the kids are watching cartoons, you just want to zone out and do some shitty BuzzFeed quiz.
Nope.
No, but your kid's not old enough yet to for you to worry about that kind of thing.
No, I still wouldn't do it. I'd rather stick my ball sack in a nest of bullet ants.
You'd rather watch Love Island? I think that's what he was trying to say.
No, I'd rather talk myself. I'd rather drink a container of Mr. Primer Surfacer 500.
Wow.
Well, yeah, at least something inside you will be self-leveling.
Yeah, I'd be well primed for embalming.
Good. Right, well then.
On that note.
Should we call it quits for tonight?
Quit.
Simon decided to pop on. No, he's not even on the chat. I think he forgot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or he's been told he's not allowed to.
Well, I mean, there is that. You mustn't speak to those reprobates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ian and Chloe are going to be on. Yeah, I'm not going on tonight.
Yeah, they'll be talking about wargaming. I don't want to hear about that. I only want to talk about Star Wars and tanks.
Chloe's a bad influence and Ian's a dick, so don't go on there.
Yeah. Not cool.
I mean, it's come from you to say that, but I think both of those statements are true.
They are.
Yeah.
They are actually really true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even going to deny it.
Nope. Self-awareness.
Yeah.
Right then, so I'll do this sign-off thing.
So enthusiastic about it.
I know.
Yeah.
I've had an explosion of enthusiasm on this episode. So yeah, if anybody's still listening and has decided to not switch off, you can switch off now. I'm just going to do the sign off. Thanks for listening, everyone. As always, you can get in touch with us on the usual web and social media channels. The website is models-workshop.com. The Facebook is facebook.com/The Models Workshop, and on Twitter it's at MWAH Podcast. Send a message there and that'll get you through to Larry. If you want to get hold of me on Twitter, on YouTube or Instagram, I'm at Mini Model Paint. And Ian is
painting_troll on Instagram.
And Chloe is
LTP_geek Instagram.
fantastic. You're going to be getting your YouTube channel up and running soon, aren't you?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like next year.
Maybe like next year. Well, by the time if you've pledged on your Kickstarters, by the time all that stuff arrives, Chloe will have a YouTube channel that she can entertain you with.
I finished my 13,000 words of work that I have to do first, yeah.
Well, YouTube comes first. I'm sure that flies at work, doesn't it? I say, sorry, boss. I was live streaming.
I was doing a step-by-step of a tank painted last night, so didn't do that, I say.
Yeah, you wanted what? Oh, another 2,000 words today? No. But do click on my Patreon.
That's
It's only $1.
Yeah. So yeah, don't forget this episode of Models Workshop After Hours has been sponsored by Audible.com. And don't be like me and forget to cancel it and have it on the wrong account name and not know what your login is and get charged every month. Get your 2 free books, not just one, by visiting www.bit.ly/After Hours Audible, and you can keep them forever, even if you cancel or even if you pay through the nose for not wanting to cancel. Maybe by next time I record, I'll have figured out which account that was set up as, and I'll have bought some books. So until then, I'll say goodbye, and so will they.
Goodbye.
Bye.